Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. Champions League is over. Time to focus back on Serie A because, of course, we want to retain the Scudetto. There was a stat released, I saw yesterday or today, that said Inter are the team in this round of the Champions League that covered the most distance out of any team, 125 kilometers. So going into that, knowing that it is going to be not an easy game for sure. I know it's Cagliari, Inter versus Cagliari, Inter at home. So going into this, we're all thinking it's going to be easy. But we know so many competitions, so much football, and of course, so much emotional as well, not just physical, emotional drain coming from that Bayern Munich game. Positive, of course, but still an emotional drain, adrenaline dump. So how will Inter come into this Cagliari game? Before we get into it, guys, make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Where are we in the table? Of course, we are first, still 3 points away from Napoli. But who are Napoli playing on the other side? We play tomorrow at 5 p.m. UK time kickoff, and they play again on Monday. They keep having these Monday kickoffs. Very nice for them. 7:45. Again, we're gonna have to tune in after work for the hate watch. It sounds good on paper, Empoli for them, but as I said to you guys last weekend, Empoli are actually a bit of a bogey team for Napoli over the years. Ask the Napoli fans, and they are fighting for their lives. Empoli, they have been a bit useless over the last few months, but if they want to survive in this league, they have to start putting up performances now. So, and when these teams sit back against 11 men behind the ball, can make life difficult for the other team. So we know Napoli don't really do too well sometimes with the teams setting up, parking the bus. So all we can do once again, like we did for Bologna, is just hope that Empoli come through for us. But of course, it doesn't really matter as long as Inter do the job against Cagliari. That's the most important thing. Where are Cagliari in the table? Cagliari are not in the relegation zone. They're actually quite nicely, 6 points away from relegation. Doesn't mean they're safe for sure, but they have a nice little gap, which, unlike Parma would definitely, in the middle of a relegation battle. You could say maybe Cagliari won't have much expectation from tomorrow's game. They don't really have to fight for their lives. But at the same time, they might even, when you play like that, you play with pressure off your shoulders, no weight on your shoulders. And actually, last time we played Cagliari at home last season, we drew against them. I think we already had won the Scudetto by this time, April 14th. 2-2 it was. Who actually scored in that game? Let's have a look. Taram, Hakan penalty, and then Shomurodov and Viola. I'm removed that this game from my memory. I don't even remember it. But yeah, apart from that, look at that: 17 wins and for Cagliari, so it's usually a pretty easy win for Inter at home. But yeah, easy in between. This one's just a 1-0. Seems like we always play them in April. Look at that again, 2021 April at home. In 2020, 2020 we drew against them. So can be potentially a banana peel game for Inter. Let's get into the predicted lineups for tomorrow from Sky Sport, latest one that have just come in. And yes, some nice bit of rotation coming back in. So Zoma stays in goal, but De Vrij coming in for Acerbi. Great. Love to see that. Bastoni continues, which, yeah, is good. We know we need Bastoni at the back. Without Bastoni, seems like we always concede. Surprised not to see Carlos Augusto in there. I know that he's played recently more than usual, but I feel like he should be able to cope with the multiple games. Di Marco starting, which is a good sign, although I heard that he only took part in team training today. So again, if he isn't ready to play or if he's pushing him a little bit too much, I'm happy for Carlos Augusto to continue. Bisa coming in for Benji Pavard. But again, Pavard as well should be able to play back-to-back games. I don't really see the reason to rotate him so much. Good to see. Big news is Zalewski starting. He's going to be his first start at Inter on the right side, not on the left. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays on that right side. I haven't really watched him too much on that right side. Even for Roma, he played mostly on the left. So I want to see, does he tend to cut in or does he tend to just try to stay on his strong right foot? But hopefully he can replace that pace in behind, some runs in behind that we used to get from Denzel, who of course is a big miss for us at the moment. But of course, the main thing is if he's going to convince Inzaghi, if he's going to convince the management to shell out the 6-7 million redemption fee for him, he needs to provide stability at the back defensively. That's the only way Inzaghi is going to start to trust him. And yeah, that right hand side, looking at it now, actually is a little bit chaotic. It's going to be a bit of a chaotic right hand side. Bisek, we know he's a bit up and down at times. Zalewski still integrating himself into the team with his Roman brother, Frattesi. Yeah, that's a bit of a chaotic right hand side. He's not going to have the most experience on his side to guide him from these two. But maybe that can give us a bit of, definitely a bit of energy on that side. And hopefully Frattesi, off the back of that amazing moment where he scored after his death of his grandma. We know in the post-match interview, if you haven't watched it, Frattesi talked about how, usually he's a strong guy mentally. He thinks nothing can phase him, but actually this thing with his grandma being ill over this past few months and then, passing away has actually affected him quite badly. And of course, that can affect your performances on and off the pitch. So hopefully, that goal can help him kick on a little bit, because I expect things, people these have given up on Frattesi. I've given up on him in terms of his development, his general overall play, because it looks like the player that he is the player that he is. But what he provided us last season as well, without the technical ability, I'm still expecting that from Frattesi. So I want energy, duel winning, ball carrying, and of course that goal threat. That's what I want from Frattesi, and hopefully he can provide that tomorrow with Hakan and Barella next to him. That is, our two best midfielders. Barella off the back of that amazing performance. Hakan looks like he's coming back into form finally, with Di Marco. That's a great lineup up until there. And Arnautovic starting again. A few months back, we might have laughed at that. We might have smirked at that and thought, Inzaghi, what are you doing? But he deserves to be starting more games. He has been good. Thuram definitely 100% deserves rest and needs rest, I think. Hopefully, we don't even need to play Thuram at all tomorrow. I would love it if we can be, in a comfortable position, 2-0 up or 3 goals up, where Inzaghi feels the need to not even bring Thuram on and just brings Correa on. But because of Taremi's injury at the moment, and of course we don't want to play Lautaro for the full 90 as well, we probably might need to come in regardless of the result. But very happy with that lineup. I personally wouldn't really make any changes outside of, keeping Di Marco safe. But, Inzaghi knows best on that. Dumfries and Zielinski still looks like they will be out until towards the end of April at the moment. Taremi should be back in the squad by the next Serie A game. But yeah, we're looking good, hopefully, with injuries coming back now. Quick look at Cagliari. Caprile, very good goalkeeper. Cagliari have an €8 million redemption fee on him, and I think they should take it. If not, a mid-table Serie A team should pick up Caprile for sure, on loan from Napoli. At the back, Luperto's a good defender, but Palomino is very big liability. Yerimina, of course, is going to be a shit house. He's going to try to trigger Arnautovic for sure, and Lautaro. Lautaro is coming off the back of a brand new big-ass tattoo. I don't know if you've seen it. Big-ass lion tattoo. I don't know what it is with these South Americans and lions. Very reminiscent of a Mauro Icardi tattoo. Icardi actually had it on his belly and his chest. Lautaro's chosen to have it covering his back. So I don't know if Yerry Mina's going to try to scratch him on his back or whatever. Like I've never got a tattoo, but I know that it's very you feel discomfort on your skin for quite a while, for a few days. So I'm sure Yerry Mina's going to be doing all sorts of stuff to Lautaro behind the scenes. But yeah, apart from that, very, very average team that has actually done very well to be in the position that they are, not to be in the dogfight at the moment for now. Because this, if this team, I would say Monza's team, I would say on paper looks better than this, and some other teams that are fighting for relegation played better than this, like Venezia, I feel like played better than this Cagliari team, but Cagliari have got important results along the way. Players to watch, I like Matteo Prati, one guy to look out for future as well. He is 20, 21 year old, 21, plays in the Italy under 21 team. Yeah, look out for him. Technically, very solid player. Just to keep a lookout for future. Let's see how he develops. Zortea, the guy who scored 2 goals against Milan early on the season, so let's watch out for him. Dito Lovumbo, very dribbling heavy, small but tough forward. Viola scored against us last time, and Piccoli is just like a old school style Italian brute of a forward. Very little technical ability, but can sneak a goal here and there. But yeah, we should make mincemeat of this Cagliari team. But as we said, because of the situation we're going in with tiredness, mental fatigue as well, clearly we've seen it now how many times that these players are focused more on Champions League than Serie A. But yeah, come on, guys, that lineup. We should be making mincemeat of this Cagliari team. I think we might concede. We might have a silly goal. We might not start the game very well. This crowd might get on the back of the guys, but in the end, it might be a bit of a pazza Inter performance, to be honest. I'm predicting a 2-1 victory for Inter. Goals from Arnautovic and maybe a Zalewski or a Di Marco goal. That's my prediction. You guys let me know in the comments down below your prediction. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. See you tomorrow for the post-match live reaction. Ciao ragazzi, always, Forza Inter.